Pregame.com.
Saturday college football action, Missouri at Texas A&M. I'm joined by Brian Leonard. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Brian, Texas A&M, we know they can score points. Missouri's kind of like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of college football. 1 week, they're really good. 1 week, they're really bad. Last week, they played an Oklahoma State team that a lot of people were giving Missouri a big shot in that game, playing at home to upset Oklahoma State. I particularly didn't like them in that game. I just didn't think that the quarterback for Missouri, Joe Franklin, could make enough big plays against Oklahoma State to be able to stay with them. And he had one of his worst performances. He was 15 of 28 in that game. He threw for 215, but they had 4 turnovers in the game, and that's what did them in against Oklahoma State. It's hard enough to keep pace with Oklahoma State, but when you turn the ball over 4 times, give away 4 possessions, you don't have a chance. I think they have a chance here. This gives us value in the line because of last week's score, and I'm looking at Texas A&M. They got Oklahoma up next. I like Missouri here. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Missouri is the right side here. When we take a look at the schedule and the teams that they've played recently, they've lost 3 of their 4 games, but they played Oklahoma, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State, all top 20 teams right now. So a lot of people sour when you play those type of teams. A&M's a very good team. I don't know if they're at that level. They may be at the level of Kansas State, but I don't consider them an Oklahoma or an Oklahoma State at this point.
Absolutely not. Their defense is not good, and Missouri's going to get their points if they don't turn the ball over. That's always a big if. If anybody can perfect a way to predict turnovers, we'd all be very wealthy people because it would make life a hell of a lot easier handicapping, but you can't. I think Missouri can make the plays, and I think it's going to sound strange, and I don't know what your feeling is on this, but a lot of people think it's easier to play at home. I think when you're a young quarterback and there's pressure on you, I would rather play on the road because you're not expected to do good. I think when you're at home, the crowd, that's your fan base. I know the crowd base gets pumped up. You want that home crowd, but I'd rather have him on the road. And as the young quarterback, and he's played some of his better games on the road this year. And I think that he can move the ball against this team, against this Texas A&M secondary. I like them. I think the line should have only been 7.5. We're getting 10. We might see it get to 10.5 as the public comes involved on Texas A&M on the weekend. I like them. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think.
Yeah, as for the young quarterback playing on the road, it depends. It depends on who you're playing, and it also depends on how many road starts you had. When Florida went on the road and had to play at, LSU? Or in Alabama with the young quarterbacks. I mean, that's a tough situation. But, you're going up against this defense at A&M is a totally different thing. And, you look at Missouri's last 7 games, all 7 games this season, 5 of those 7 games, those games, the final scores was 66 points or higher. The total here is roughly 62.5. I think the value here is on the over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. We kind of touched that as we were coming in. But you take the games when A&M has played against good offensive teams, we're looking at point totals of 59, 80, 85, and 83. I consider Missouri a pretty good offensive team, and you're looking at a total, in a lot of those 20 points less. So I think there's some value on the over here.
I agree. Well, when you see my projected score in the game, you're going to see there's value there as well. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Missouri plus the points. They're getting 10 right now. We're taping on Thursday. I don't think they pull the upset, but I think this is going to be a game, one of those games where the last team with the ball wins the game. I've got Texas A&M winning 38-35, but Missouri covering with the points, and if you add 38 and 35, that soars pretty well over the over. So you got Missouri for me, a strong lean to the over. Brian says take the over. So you got 2 free plays kind of out of this video. Missouri plus the points and over. We'll be back. One more video with Brian Leonard. It's going to be his video best bet. We're going to look at Georgia at Florida up next.